You know those stories about a message from deep space? Well, this isn't science fiction. We're talking about a real 72-second whisper from the cosmos that has absolutely baffled scientists for nearly half a century. And believe it or not, this cosmic cold case just got a fresh set of eyes. Okay, let's dive into this.
And this is it. This is the piece of evidence at the heart of the whole mystery. Back on August 15th, 1977, a radio telescope in Ohio picked up this transmission. It was so powerful, so precise, and so completely out of the ordinary that the astronomer who found it, Jerry Amon, could only manage to scribble one single word in the margin. Wow. And you know what? For decades, that one word just perfectly captured the feeling.
So, what was it about this signal from the Big Ear Radio Observatory that made it so jaw-droppingly strange? I mean, it wasn't just some random burst of static from the void. No. This signal had a profile, a signature. It looked suspiciously, well, artificial.
And when you break it down, each piece of the puzzle just makes it weirder. First, it was strong, like 30 times stronger than the normal background hum of space. It was also tuned almost perfectly to 1420 megahertz, what scientists call the hydrogen line. Think of it as a universal hailing frequency. Then there's the fact that it was incredibly narrow, focused, not like the messy, broad signals that natural things tend to put out. And get this, its 72-second duration was the exact amount of time it would take for the telescope to scan past a fixed point in space. And then, poof, silence. It was never, ever heard from again.
For decades, that's pretty much all we knew. But now, things have changed. Thanks to the incredible recovery of some long-lost archival data, we're talking the original digital records from the Big Ear, scientists have been able to perform the most detailed reanalysis of this thing ever. This is way beyond just looking at that old paper printout. And here is what they found. This new analysis, from a paper they're calling Arecibo WOW 2, has totally sharpened the picture. This table shows just how much. The location in the sky, its right ascension, is now 3 times more precise. That's a huge deal for trying to find a source. The frequency is also slightly different, which tells us new things about how fast the source might have been moving. But maybe the biggest shocker is the signal strength, its flux density. It's been revised way up.
So what does that actually mean? It means this was no faint whisper. With a strength of at least 256 Janskys, that's the unit for radio brightness, the signal was way, way more powerful than we ever thought. This takes an event that was already an outlier and makes it even more extreme. Seriously, there are very few natural things in the universe that can shine this brightly and this cleanly.
Okay, so before we all jump to little green men, we have to do our due diligence, right? We have to rule out everything else. For a long time, one of the most popular natural explanations was a bolide. Basically, a really big meteor burning up in our atmosphere. You know, a bright flash in the sky, a big burst of radio waves. It sounds plausible, but does the physics actually hold up?
Well, here's the problem. Not even close. The physics just doesn't match up at all. Radio signals from meteors, they're low frequency, they're chaotic, they're broadband. It's like a loud, messy splash. The WOW signal was the exact opposite. High frequency, orderly, and incredibly narrowband, like a pure, perfect musical note. The two are just fundamentally different. So yeah, the meteor idea, it's pretty much off the table now. So with the simple, natural explanations looking less and less likely, the door starts to open to some more speculative ideas. And this is where it gets really fun. What if that weird sequence, 6EQJ5, isn't just a boring measurement of signal strength? What if it's the message itself? One really fascinating new paper suggests the signal is a referential pointer. The idea is that the transmission wasn't from the thing it was talking about, but it was designed to point to it. So in this theory, those numbers aren't just about signal strength. They're part of a cosmic address, pointing us toward a specific location near a star called Tau Bootes, about 51 light-years away. But why there? Okay, brace yourself because this is where it gets truly mind-bending. The characters in 6EQJ5 correspond to numbers. If you convert them all and add them up, you get a nice round 100. Now what happens if you divide that by the distance to Tau Bootes, 51 light-years? You get 1.96. So what? Well, it turns out that Tau Bootes has this incredibly rare, super fast 2-year magnetic cycle. And get this, that was a property of the star we had absolutely no clue about back in 1977. So, is that just a wild, stunning coincidence, or is it a deliberate mathematical breadcrumb left for us to find? All right, so that's one theory. But what if we're looking at it all wrong? There's another completely different idea, that the signal is a cosmic barcode. In this version, the intensity numbers really are intensity numbers, but they've been carefully chosen to paint a picture, a quick little infographic of our own solar system. Almost like an ID tag being sent out by an observer. How on earth would that work? Well, the logic is actually surprisingly elegant. You take the highest intensity value detected, 30, and you assign it to our biggest planet, Jupiter. Makes sense. The next highest, 26, goes to Saturn, then 19 to Uranus, 14 to Neptune, and you just keep going down the line. According to this theory, other signals picked up that night on other channels map to the rest of the planets, like Earth and Mars. The whole thing becomes this incredibly compact, coded snapshot of our home system. So, after all this new science, all the brilliant detective work, and all the creative code breaking, where are we? What do we actually know now? Well, it seems we have a signal that's sharper, stronger, and somehow even more mysterious than it was before.
So here's the bottom line. The science has gotten way better, but the answer is still just out of reach. We've managed to refine the signal's properties down to the decimal point, but we still have no idea who or what sent it. We've pretty much ruled out all the boring explanations, and what we're left with are these incredible, almost literary interpretations that hint at something profound. The wow signal hasn't been solved. It's just become a much, much better mystery.
Which really brings us back to the ultimate question, doesn't it? What was this thing? Was it just a 1 in a billion cosmic fluke that we'll never see again? Is it an unsolved puzzle of natural astrophysics that we just don't have the science to understand yet? Or was it exactly what it looked like on that summer night in 1977? A message in a bottle, thrown across the cosmic ocean, just waiting for us to finally figure out how to read it.